Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm here today to talk about something that's hitting us all where we live, literally. If you're feeling the heat, you're not alone. We're in the middle of a brutal heat wave with temperatures soaring well into the 90s and heat index values making it feel like over 100 degrees Fahrenheit across huge swaths of the country, from the mid-Atlantic all the way to the plains and into New England. This isn't just about discomfort, it's about a critical situation impacting our nation's power grids, your electricity bills, and frankly, whether your AC can even stay on. We're seeing massive strain, thousands losing power, and utility companies scrambling to keep the lights on. Let's break down what's happening, why it's happening, and what it means for your wallet and your comfort this summer. This intense heat is being driven by what's called a heat dome, settled over much of the eastern and central United States, causing dangerously hot conditions that are expected to linger for several days, possibly into midweek. This extreme weather is pushing our electricity systems to their absolute breaking point. The nation's largest regional transmission organization, PJM, Interconnection, which coordinates the movement of wholesale electricity for all or parts of 13 states and Washington, D.C., is on high alert. They've issued maximum generation alerts, meaning all power generators must be ready to operate at their highest output capability, and load management alerts, giving us, the consumers, advance notice that they might need us to reduce our electricity use. PJM was anticipating a maximum peak load of over 160,000 megawatts for their service area this week. To put that in perspective, last year's summer peak was around 152,700 megawatts, so we're seeing a significant increase in demand. While PJM has a total generating capacity of over 171,000 megawatts scheduled to meet this need, the prolonged nature of this heat wave creates a sustained supply-demand challenge, and they're forecasting demand to reach levels not seen in over a decade, potentially pushing past 160 gigawatts. They even expect that in the event of an extreme heat wave, demand could spike to 166,000 megawatts, at which point the system could start experiencing reserve shortfalls. It's not just PJM bracing for impact. Other major grid operators are also feeling the pressure. The Mid-Continent Independent System Operator, known as MISO, has also declared a maximum generation event for the Midwest and central states they serve, requiring all their power supplies to be on hand. In New York, the Independent System Operator, ISEO, is expecting to handle the load with over 40,000 megawatts of power available, though they note the record per-hour demand was about 34,000 megawatts back in 2013. Meanwhile, National Grid, which serves many customers in New York, is seeing its system voltage get a little bit low as demand flows are too high. On a typical summer day, their voltage load is around 25,000 volts across the state, but this week it's been around 30,000 volts, creating the potential for what are called brownouts, which can mean a partial or even complete loss of electricity in some areas. And we're not just talking about potential issues. Power outages are already hitting tens of thousands of Americans. Con Edison, the utility serving New York City, has been working furiously to restore power to thousands of customers in Southeast Queens, Staten Island, and even parts of Brooklyn. They initially restored power to over 1,600 customers in Queens, but thousands more remain without service. To manage demand and allow crews to perform critical equipment repairs, Con Edison has had to implement an 8% voltage reduction for customers in those affected areas. This type of reduction protects the grid and helps prevent further widespread outages. The impacted zone in Queens alone serves approximately 166,000 customers, stretching across neighborhoods like Bel Air, Jamaica, Queens Village, and St. Albans. In Ohio, First Energy reported nearly 50,000 customers without power in the northeast part of the state, including Cleveland. City officials in Akron have even warned of rolling blackouts that could rotate outages every 90 minutes for up to 12 hours. And in Philadelphia, PECO is working to restore power for almost 6,000 homes, some of which were already affected by severe storms from last week. So, why is this happening? Beyond the obvious strain of a record-breaking heat wave, there's a deeper systemic energy challenge at play. Sources indicate that this crisis is a result of years of short-sighted policies. A report from PJM in February 2023 warned that the amount of generation retirements appears to be more certain than the timely arrival of replacement generation resources. Essentially, power's being taken offline faster than it's being added. We're seeing a significant gap between our nation's energy needs and its actual generating capacity. One major factor contributing to this is the delayed or deferred expansion of natural gas infrastructure by numerous power providers. This delay is often in an effort to achieve, quote, carbon neutrality goals by 2050. However, natural gas has been a driving force in reducing American carbon dioxide dioxide outputs over the past 2 decades. The executive director of PJM Operations, David Saude, has explicitly stated the need to keep existing generators running longer to avoid outages. Furthermore, increasing overall electricity consumption, partly due to the proliferation of large-scale projects like new data centers and manufacturing facilities, is adding significant new demand to the grid, particularly in areas like Northern Virginia, which has become a major data center hub, and Central Ohio with projects like the Intel chip plant, Google data center, and Anduril facility. This energy crunch has real financial consequences for you, the consumer. We're already seeing a dramatic surge in electricity prices. For instance, next-day power prices at the PJM West Hub in Pennsylvania soared by over 430% to around $211 per megawatt hour, marking their highest level since January. In New England, power prices jumped by over 180% to approximately $161 per megawatt hour, the highest since February. The New York State Department of Public Service is even projecting that the typical residential electric supply bill this summer will run about 6.5% higher than last summer. In response to this strain, utility companies are actively urging customers to conserve energy. Con Edison, for example, is asking residents in affected areas to temporarily avoid using energy-intensive appliances like washers, dryers, and microwaves. They also recommend limiting air conditioning to 1 unit per household if you have multiple, and setting it to the highest comfortable temperature. Every degree you raise your AC setting can reduce energy consumption by 1 to 3%. Another key request is to postpone charging electric vehicles until system repairs are completed, if possible, as EV charging can draw significant power. Beyond these immediate requests, there are several smart energy-saving tips that can help reduce the strain on the grid and, importantly, lower your own electricity bill. You should use fans to help create airflow, which can make you feel several degrees cooler without needing to lower your thermostat. It's also wise to keep your shades, blinds, and curtains closed, especially during the sunniest hours of the day, as about 40% of unwanted heat can come through your windows. Consider delaying the use of heat-generating appliances like stoves and dishwashers until cooler hours, or use outdoor grills and microwaves to avoid adding extra heat inside your home. And of course, always turn off AC units, lights, and other appliances when you're not at home, or consider using a timer to turn your AC on about half an hour before you arrive. Utility companies are also implementing proactive measures. PJM, for example, utilizes demand response programs, which actually pay customers in advance if they sign up to allow a reduction of their electricity use during emergencies. This helps the grid manage demand during peak stress times. Many utilities are also recalling generators from scheduled maintenance to ensure maximum power availability. Cities across the country are opening hundreds of cooling centers, including senior centers and libraries, to provide safe, air-conditioned spaces for residents, especially the most vulnerable. Con Edison is even distributing dry ice at locations like the Queens County Farm Museum to assist residents impacted by prolonged outages, providing labeled bags with safe handling instructions. It's clear we're in a challenging period, but understanding the pressures on our energy systems and making smart choices can make a significant difference. Stay hydrated, stay cool, and conserve energy where you can. That's all for today's update. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.